A great journey must always start off with a humble beginning, and so I started my journey once again on an Ultimate Ironman account, and I wanted to achieve all the things that I could not achieve before, and this time it's going to be different. Let the adventure begin. When I first began playing on my Ultimate Ironman account, I started off as an Ultimate Ironman skiller. I wasn't planning on achieving too much simply because I wasn't sure how long I'm going to enjoy this mode. This was a massive change. There was no bank to be able to use, and how do you play RuneScape without using a bank? That's the question that I asked myself every minute that I played on this Ultimate Ironman account. How am I going to be able to play on this account? It's extremely risky. There's so many factors that I have to think about when I'm playing on this account. How difficult will it be for me to actually train skills on this account? And that is all those things that were going through my mind. Now, while I was playing my Ultimate Ironman account, I first started off by doing some agility because I knew this was the most efficient way to start off any account. That way, by getting yourself those agility levels, not only your running energy is going to restore way much faster, but at the same time I can also give myself the full graceful sets and get myself a ton of agility levels, which will save me a lot of time by being able to use shortcuts, and the graceful overall is going to regenerate my run energy much faster. And by having to have the ability to regenerate energy much faster, that saves you a lot of time on not having to walk, and this overall saves you a huge amount of time in the long run if you first start off by working on agility. As I played more on my Ultimate Ironman account, I got really into it, and personally myself, I'm the type of person that really likes a really good challenge, meaning that this account was perfect for me. This was the opportunity for me to try to achieve things that I could never achieve before. Usually I could not even achieve 99 Slayer before on a regular account, and this time I wanted to set myself a goal to achieve something really hard, and especially on the hardest mode possible, which is an Ultimate Ironman account. And I played every single day as much as I could. I tried to pretty much train everything that I could to stay on the top of the high scores. Another big goal that I've set for myself to try to do is going to be to try to stay in the top 10 Ultimate Ironman accounts, and so far from the beginning I was doing a great job. I was training different kind of skills. I was training combat skills, Slayer, and pretty much I was trying to work on every single skill that I can work on. So far that wasn't too difficult to do in the beginning, and my first goal that I wanted to achieve was to get all levels to level 30. Oh boy, the competition sure was hard. I did not expect it to be this difficult. When I started playing on my Ultimate Ironman account, I pretty much played the whole entire day for like the first 3 to 4 days, and people were still beating me by a lot of total levels, and it just shocked me on how competitive it was to play on an Ultimate Ironman account, and that made it really exciting and really fun. I hadn't had this much fun since I played in 06, and it was just incredible to experience that feeling again, and the grind was just real. I was grinding out levels left and right, and my total level was just flying up. After working a bit on different kind of skills, I decided that I'm going to start working a lot on my combat skills, as well as my Slayer level. And as you guys see, my first ever drop was an Abyssal, which was a pretty awesome drop for me, and it was funny how I was freaking out over this drop. I did not really record my live reaction, but I was pretty excited to get it, even though it wasn't really that great of a drop, but it was still pretty cool to get my first ever rare drop on an Ultimate Ironman account. And of course, let's not forget about the total level. The total level was just going up so quickly. I was really close to 1000 total level, just 30 levels away from hitting that first big milestone, which is 1000 total level, which was awesome. I couldn't wait to get it. After doing a bit of Slayer, I've managed to pick up myself a medium clue scroll. This is the reward that I got for my first ever medium clue scroll, and the reward wasn't too bad. Of course, it could be much better than this, but it wasn't too bad for my first medium clue scroll. After I finished completing the medium clue scroll, I headed back and I worked a bit on skilling, as well as I focused again a lot on Slayer and combat. And in here, I finally managed to reach myself 1000 total level, which is awesome, which means that I've now completed one of my smaller milestones. Now that I got myself 1000 total level, let's keep on moving till that's 1250 total level. I kept doing a lot of Slayer, and I managed to upgrade myself to a Dragon Scimitar, as well as a Rune Defender, which was extremely useful for Slayer tasks, and I started flicking a bit for a different kind of task, which did make it really efficient, but of course it wasn't the most enjoyable thing to do. But the thing is, you know, a lot of times if you want to get the fastest XP possible, you do have to sacrifice the pretty much the comfort of you playing without having to flick. But of course, in the long run, it's definitely worth it because you do save a lot of time. While I'm working on Slayer, I've decided that I'm actually slowly going to start working on getting myself the Barrel's gloves. It could potentially take me quite a while because I'm not a huge fan of questing. I do enjoy doing them from time to time, but I've mostly enjoyed questing and pre-OC because they had amazing cutscenes, and also RuneScape, it's a bit different, you know, it's not the same as it was. But overall, the Barrel's gloves are definitely going to be obtained. It's just a question of when and how long it's actually going to take me. Hopefully it's not going to take me too long. After doing a ton of Slayer, I decided to start finally working on getting 83 Hunter. That way I'll have the ability to be able to get myself Glories from Dragon Implies and have myself a nice money making method, because it is pretty difficult to make money on an Ultimate Ironman account. While I've been working on getting myself 83 Hunter, I've also been working a bit on some other skills as well, and I'm getting really close to achieving my second small milestone, which is going to be getting 1.250 total level, so not that many levels left to go. After working a bit on Hunter, I've decided that I'm going to go and kill some Banshees to start getting myself some essence to be able to keep working on some more rune crafting levels, and then after that I started completing some more quests. I did not manage to complete a hard clue scroll. Even though I wasn't able to complete a hard clue scroll, I did though manage to complete a few easy clue scrolls. Their weren't too great, but then again, you can't really ask too much from easy clue scrolls. Once I finished up doing a few clue scrolls, I got back to Hunter and I kept hunting until the point that I finally managed to get myself level 83 Hunter. And then after that, I went and did a bit of Dragon Imp hunting, and I managed to get myself the Glories, which is awesome. It could take quite a while to get them, but I managed to get them pretty fast, which is pretty great. Following that, I finally started working on getting myself the Barrel's gloves. So far I managed to achieve the Meat gloves, which is a pretty decent start, and I still have a decent amount of subquests to complete to get those Barrel's gloves, but I should be able to get them pretty soon. Now that 83 Hunter is complete, after that I started working on getting myself 50 construction to be able to get myself a Mountain Glory, as well as to be able to build myself some portals, which is going to be extremely useful. After a little bit of work, I managed to get myself 50 construction. I've built myself a Mountain Glory, some teleportation portals, which are going to be quite nice to use. Following that, I started working on some agility. My goal was to get level 70 agility, as well as to give myself a full graceful set. Currently now I'm level 67 agility, so just 3 more levels left to go for agility, and I'm not going to be working on it for a while, so that should be plenty enough for me to use for a different kind of shortcuts. Following that, I've actually did a little bit of fishing, and I finally managed to get myself 1250 total level, which is pretty awesome. The stats sure are growing quite fast. Of course, not as fast as they were in the beginning, but the progress is still pretty good. Skilling sure was fun. I've just kept grinding and grinding and grinding, and I've just finished up getting myself 85 mining, and I was one of the first Ultimate Ironman accounts to get it, which was pretty awesome. Following that, I moved on to start getting myself 70 agility by barbarian fishing, and with that I've also got myself a ton of fishing levels. After all of that long grind of getting myself 85 mining, 70 agility, 80 and up fishing, I started working a bit more on questing. Now the quests that I'm going to be completing right now are going to be quests that I need to be able to free the Lumbridge Guide, so I can complete another subquest to get myself an upgrade for my gloves. Now my next things to do on the list were to get myself 66 magic, and I've recently finished that up, and now I have access to be able to go into the Mage's Guild, which is going to be very useful for a ton of different runes. After that, I decided to go back and get myself my Rune Defender back, as well as I've managed to get myself the full Void set with the melee helmets, mage helmets, and the Void Rage helmet, so all 3 of these are going to be extremely useful. After that, I started working on 61 crafting, which is going to be needed for the Lunar's Isles quest. Now the reason why I complete this quest is because I need this for a questscape, as well as I need the quest to be able to use the Super Glass Make, which is going to be one of the most efficient ways for me to train crafting. As I continue with my progress, I started working a lot on completing different kind of quests to be able to finally unlock the ability to be able to use the Barrel's gloves. Getting all the quest points that I needed to be able to get myself the Barrel's gloves, as well as completing the rest of the sub parts of the quest, was really easy to do. It did not take me too long to be able to complete it as soon as I start working a lot on different kind of quests, and I finally, after quite some time, managed to get myself the Barrel's gloves, which felt really good, especially getting those on an Ultimate Ironman account. I felt that great sense of achievements, and it was a great motivator for me to keep on going. After completing Recipe for Disaster and unlocking the ability to be able to wear the Barrel's gloves, I decided that I'm actually going to go on a crazy quest streak, and I'm going to finally get myself the questscape. I did not really want to stretch it out and take forever to get that quest cape, so I decided just to grind it out in one go, and I continued working on quest, and finally, after quite some time, I've managed to give myself the quest cape, and I was so happy. That was one of my biggest goals that I wanted to achieve in this account. Two main goals that I set for myself was to get 99 Slayer, as well as to give myself a quest point cape. Now that I finally managed to complete the quest point cape, the last goal that's left for me to do is going to be to get that 99 Slayer cape. So that is going to be one of my biggest goals that I still need to achieve, but I know I can do it. While working on getting myself the quest cape, I managed to get myself a ton of different levels, and in the process I managed to complete one of my next bigger goals, and that is going to be to get myself 1,500 total level. So now that I got that, let's keep on going and let's go for that 1,750 total level. Now that the quest point cape has been obtained, I started working on getting myself 67 construction to be able to boost to build a gilded altar, so that way I can start using my bones on the altar to get a nice amount of experience. Following that, I started preparing slowly to start trying out some barrows. Now personally myself, I had no idea on how lucky I'm going to be at barrows. I was expecting myself to be able to stay there for a very long time to get myself the full Gutton set. One of my main goals was to get myself the Gutton set while doing the barrows, because of course that's going to be one of the most useful sets that you can get at barrows. And my luck started off crazy. Right away from the first few chests, I already started getting myself really useful items. I started off with a Varric skirt, followed by a Carol's coif. After doing a few barrows chests, I decided to go and get myself a Dragon Defender, so that way I have way much more accuracy to be able to kill the bear's brother more efficiently. After that, I managed to pick up myself a Hard Clue Skull from the Cyclops, and in that Hard Clue Skull, I've managed to get myself a Black Dragon Mask as well as some other items as well. So overall, the first ever Hard Clue Skull wasn't anything too special, but it was nice to finally complete my first ever Hard Clue Skull. Once the Hard Clue Skull was completed, I went back and finally got myself the Dragon Defender, and I headed back to continue working on barrows. During my barrow runs, I was getting incredibly lucky. I was getting a bunch of different items, and I started getting myself the Gutton's pieces, which was amazing because I've only did a small amount of chests, and I've already managed to get myself a few Gutton's items, which is just incredible. The craziest part about my luck at barrows is the fact that I was getting different kind of barrow items, and every single time that I got an item, it was a completely different item, and 4 out of those different items were Gutton's pieces. After 58 chests, I managed to complete myself the full Gutton set, which is just mind-blowing. It takes people hundreds, even sometimes thousands of barrow chests to be able to complete it, and I've managed to complete it in just 58 chests. Up to this day, if I'm not mistaken, I still hold the record for completing the fastest Gutton sets on an Ultimate Ironman account. There was a regular Ironman who managed to get the Gutton set faster than me, which just blew my mind. I did not think it was even possible to beat the record that I had. 58 chests for a Gutton set, like how do you even beat that? But somehow he managed to get even luckier than me, and he got the sets in about 40 something chests, which is just amazing. Now that I've obtained myself the full Gutton set, it is finally time for me to start working on my biggest goal for this account, so that is to get 99 Slayer. So I first began by getting myself a Slayer mask, which is pretty awesome. It again did not take me too long to get it. My luck in this account is just crazy. Early on I already managed to get myself the full Gutton set. I'm already getting myself a mask. I believe it took me like a few hours to get it, and it takes people thousands of kills to sometimes get that mask as well. So my luck overall on this account was awesome. Working on Slayer sure was fun. Slayer has always been one of my favorite things to do, and I'm sure that we can all agree that Slayer is one of the most liked skill in old school RuneScape. And I've continued working on Slayer, and after a bit of time I finally managed to get enough points to be able to give myself the Slayer helmet, which was awesome. You definitely need that helmet because without it, Slayer is much slower and you do not get all those special bonuses like the accuracy and the strength bonus that you get while wearing the Slayer helmet, which makes Slayer much faster. As I worked on Slayer, I switched up between different kind of skills that I worked a bit on crafting to give myself the ability to be able to craft different kind of bodies for clue scrolls, and overall in general it would be nice for me to get myself 83 crafting to be able to craft the full Black Dragon Head set, which is very useful on an Ultimate Ironman account. And after a ton of Slayer, I finally managed to give myself the first Slayer goal, which was 72 Slayer, which unlocks the ability for me to be able to start killing skeletal wyverns. Now, killing skeletal wyverns was a great way for Ultimate Ironman to actually obtain different kind of supplies, so that way I started killing a ton of different wyverns, and I decided to actually try my luck to do some medium clutch goals to be able to give myself the Ranger boots, which is going to be a nice addition to my void set to kill the wyverns way much faster. As I was completing the clutch goals, I was getting quite lucky, and I was getting myself a ton of different kind of Samrock pages, which was pretty nice. So as soon as I complete the book, I'll have a nice range bonus to use against skeletal wyverns because they are a bit tough to kill with their high defense. Now, while I continue working on Slayer, I've set myself a really interesting goal. That goal was to kill 10,000 skeletal wyverns. Now, this is going to take a very long time to get, and hopefully I do manage to give myself the Draconic Visage during those 10,000 kills. That'll be very nice. Now, I've also continued working a bit on skills, and I've also started working a ton on different kind of achievement diaries. Achievement diaries are really great to complete because they give you a nice amount of experience, as well as they give you a ton of different useful perks that you can use, which are going to be very useful for me. Now, following that, I continue working a bit more on Slayer. I started using range to do Slayer so that way I can give myself some range levels, so that way it'll be much easier for me to kill skeletal wyverns because they were pretty difficult to kill with my range level. So that is why I wanted to give myself at least level 90 enough range to be able to efficiently kill the skeletal wyverns. The Slayer grind sure was real. I was putting in a crazy amount of hours every single day to be able to get myself 99 Slayer. I unlocked so many things. I unlocked gargoyles, and I finally managed to give myself 80 Slayer, which means that now I can finally boost to be able to kill the Abyssal Demons to give myself the Abyssal Whip. Now, getting the Abyssal Whip took me way much longer than expected. I had to camp Abyssal Demons for a week and a half, 10 hours every single day to be able to get it. I think that was one of my only things that was very unlucky on this account. It took me an insane amount of Abyssal Demon kills to be able to get it. But while I was camping them, I managed to give myself a ton of noted gold bars, which are pretty nice because those are very useful for Slayer and a ton of different things. Once I finally got myself the Abyssal Whip, I decided that I'd finally give it a go and get myself the Fire Cape. Now, personally, I've never really done the Fire Cape with the regular setup, but like I explained in one of my videos, the only time I did the Fire Cape was in pre-OC, when I had Stormer Armadillo. I also had a Divine, Full Torva, and all that stuff, so it was extremely easy to be able to get that Fire Cape. But this time, it's going to be different. But the good thing is that I got myself the Volgatan set, and I have really good stats, so I should have no problem getting the Fire Cape, and I actually managed to do it. On my first ever attempt, I managed to give myself the Fire Cape, which was so awesome. With the newly acquired Fire Cape, as well as Full Guttons and the Whip, the Slayer levels were just breezing by. They were very easy to get, and I was getting levels extremely quickly. I finally managed to get myself level 85 Slayer, which I can now use to officially kill Abyssal Demons without a boost, which is great. That's a really nice Slayer milestone. That's actually one of the most iconic monsters that you can kill on old school RuneScape is the Abyssal Demons, and it's so great to be able to unlock the ability to be able to officially kill them. Following that, I kept on working on Slayer, and I finally managed to unlock the ability to be able to start killing the Cave Kragans, which was very exciting, which meant that I could potentially get myself the Trident. After skipping a few tasks, I finally managed to give myself the Cave Kraken task, and I was so excited for this because there is a pretty good chance that I can give myself the Trident, which is going to be the best magic weapon that I can use. And I've actually managed to get it really quickly. It did not take me too long to get the Trident, which was awesome. The best part is that I managed to give myself the Trident from the Kraken boss, which is pretty cool because the chances of that is 1 out of 500, and the chances of getting the Trident from the Cave Kraken are 1 out of 250 if I'm not mistaken. So I managed to give myself a fully charged Trident, which is pretty cool because that saves me a nice amount of money to not having to charge it. With the Trident obtained, after that I move on to start completing the 10,000 Skeletal Wyverns goal. Now while I was completing this goal, I got extremely lucky and I've managed to land myself a Visage on around 4,000 kills. Now that might seem like a lot of kills to get a Visage, but you have to also keep in mind that the chances of getting it is 1 out of 10,000, and just because you kill 10,000 does not guarantee it. 1 out of 10,000 is an incredibly low chance. If you really calculate it, you should never get it, even if you play, because that's how low the chances are to score it. Yet I managed to get lucky enough and get the Visage, which was awesome. Now after completing the 10,000 kills, I finally managed to get myself the first 99, which was 99 range, and that was awesome. That was my first ever 99s that I got on the account, and it was so exciting to get it. After 2.5 months of AFK at Skeletal Environments, I finally managed to finish my goal of getting 10,000 Skeletal Environment kills. And I gotta say, I was very happy with the results. The most important thing is that I got myself the Draconic Visage, which was the #1 thing that I was going for, and I was very happy with the supplies that I managed to get. These supplies are going to be a nice amount of experience, and I've also managed to get myself a ton of different GP, which I started investing into using up on magic. I've started getting magic levels extremely quickly, and I was just smashing through them, and in no time I already managed to get myself really close to 99 magic, which was just crazy. Now, after I did all of that, I started working on using up all the supplies that I managed to get from the Skeletal Environments, like using up the battle staffs, and a ton of different kind of things, making bolts. They'll be very useful for VMing, and pretty much just using up all the supplies that I can currently use up that I got from Skeletal Environments. In no time, I finally managed to finish off getting myself 99 magic, which is pretty cool because 99 magic is one of the best looking capes in the game, and that's another 99 down that I don't have to worry about. The next 99 that I started working on was 99 fishing. Now the way that I was doing this is through barbarian fishing, which is a really efficient way to do it. Not only get yourself agility XP, but you also get yourself strength XP while you're fishing for the fish, which is pretty awesome. 99 fishing was also a breeze. It only took me about 1 month to be able to get it, and that was definitely a quite enjoyable skill to get. It's always nice to AFK to get a certain kind of skill, and I've also managed to get myself a ton of agility levels and a nice amount of strength XP as well. Next up, I decided to start working on finally getting myself an Amulet of Fury. It took forever for me to be able to work on it, but I finally started working on it and I've managed to get it in no time at all. With the Fury obtained, I continued grinding Slayer, and I've managed to get myself the next 99, which was 99 hit points. The hit points cape is also a great skill cape. It looks really nice, and that's another 99 down. The Slayer grind sure was enjoyable. I kept grinding out different kind of tasks, and I finally managed to land myself the first ever pet. The pet that I managed to get was a Cave Kraken pet, which is a pretty nice pet, and that was awesome. After quite a long time of grinding, I've managed to land myself the first ever pet, which is pretty sweet. The next rare item that I managed to get was a Pegasian Crystal on my first ever kill count at Cerberus, which is just incredible. It always shocks me on how lucky it gets on boss drops. At the rate that I was going, it seemed that 99 Slayer was just a few steps away. I've got myself 96 Slayer in no time, and with that I unlocked the ability to be able to kill the Dust Devils. Now while I was doing one of the tasks, I managed to land myself a Dragon Chain Body from the boss, which I'm definitely going to save because that was always one of my favorite chain bodies to wear back in the good old days. Well guys, it is finally time. It is time to achieve one of my ultimate goals that I've set out to achieve on this account. I've been playing in this account for 1.5 years, and I can't believe that I'm already here. You know, the journey has just been incredible. I've enjoyed every step of the way, and the reason why I've managed to achieve this 99 is all because of you guys. You know, you guys are the ones that motivated me to keep on going, to making more videos. Ultimate Ironman account was not a breeze. It was very difficult to play on it, and it took me a very long time to get used to playing on an Ultimate Ironman account without a bank. But I've managed to achieve this goal. I've got myself now max melee, and I've also just got myself 99 Slayer. It just feels incredible to achieve this goal because I could not even achieve this goal on a regular account, and getting it on an Ultimate Ironman account is so incredible. It is pretty much the hardest account that I can get the Slayer level on, and I'm so grateful for you guys to motivated me with all you guys' amazing feedback and support on my videos. My videos and you the viewers is what pretty much helped me achieve this goal. If it wasn't for you guys, I would never manage to achieve it because I honestly wanted to quit playing on my ultimates multiple times because of how difficult it was for me to play on it. But because of you guys' constant amazing feedback, I've managed to complete one of my ultimate goals that I've always wanted to complete. So thank you so much for everything, guys. With my ultimate goal completed, this is still not the end. There's still so many things to do. The next huge goal that I've set for myself to achieve is going to be to do 100 kills of every single boss in Old School RuneScape. And the final boss that I'm going to be killing is going to be Corp. And I'm going to have to kill Corp 100 times, which is going to be extremely difficult. One kill takes at least 30 minutes to be able to do, And that's not counting if someone crashes you. If someone comes in and attacks the corp once, there goes your 30 minutes. So the goal is going to be a very difficult goal to achieve, but when I do complete this goal, the satisfaction level is just going to be through the roof. And let's hope I can get lucky enough to give myself some rare item drops while I'm going to be completing this huge goal. That is going to be it for this summary video. I hope all of you guys did enjoy it. I had so much fun making this summary, so many great memories, and I really hope that I continue to satisfy you guys with my videos. I know you guys have been really enjoying my videos, and I'm really happy to hear that. You know, it really does give me a huge motivation to keep on playing in my account just because of you guys' feedback. Aside from that, guys, huge thanks for watching, and be sure to continue watching the Ultimate Ironman episodes from episode number 32 to see how I'm doing with my current new series. Aside from that, guys, huge thanks for watching.